Hi, I'm Justin.
Also, I hate the way my voice sounds, so if you can do whatever Photoshop does to voices, make me sound awesome.
And this is my lovely friend,
The beauty in the eyes of the beholder, and it's just about getting into the seat of being the beholder.
Hayley.
I don't think you have to be particularly perceptive. I just think you have to look up.
This podcast is mostly just her telling me stories.
If you expose yourself to the possibility that this might be really awkward, there can be something just really cool on the other side of it.
She thinks that her life and way of looking at things are
Oh, I was kind of waiting on you. I thought you were getting your stuff ready. You're waiting on me?
pretty normal.
You got to edit out all the misinformation about the Amish.
Maybe you can relate.
I would like a chance to re-sing the Amish Paradise.
If you want lighthearted stories
All right, you want to talk about goats?
and stream of consciousness,
I just woke up and needed some friends, and so I bought them.
then you're going to like the Sunny Side Up podcast.
Sunny side up, sunny side up, sunny side up, sunny side up.
So, if you're at all like me, you may feel that you're living in a world that can be a bit overwhelming and confusing at times. I'm also a huge fan of podcasts, documentaries, docudramas, stories, and of just information in general. Between all of that and the social media and news, sometimes our brains can feel like they're on overload. Hayley and I hope that this podcast can be something of an antidote to all of that. Like little jello shots of joy and distraction. None of it is too serious or really too informative. Mostly it's just two friends who have conversational chemistry talking about whatever enters the minds of relatively ADHD people. We hope you enjoy.
When you said people would make cookies thinking that you were coming, it reminded me of food kindnesses from unsuspected places. My grandmother worked in the tax assessor's office seasonally. When I was a kid, we moved back in with my grandparents whenever my mom was divorcing, and so my grandmother took a little part-time job to kind of support. My mom had 100 kids.
What?
So, no, not really. It was 4 of us, and then there were 2 more that came along after that. So Grandma worked at the tax assessor's office, and when people would mail in their tax payments, occasionally people would send in their favorite recipes with their tax payment.
Really?
Like handwritten recipes. This is before the internet, so I guess
so sweet.
the transmission of like, hey sis,
Knowledge.
you got to know, here's a good tip.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you were getting your recipes out of a magazine or maybe a cooking program on television or whatever.
A cookbook.
Yeah, cookbooks, but you don't know if everything is good that you're seeing.
Yeah.
These ladies would write down their favorite recipes and send them in with their tax payment. Have you ever thought of making it a gratuitous gesture with your county tax payment?
I wasn't going to say anything to do with tax is a hard no for me.
Thank you. You're barely going to get the tax payment out of me. I'm certainly not putting kindness in the envelope with it. But we discovered when she passed away, when we were, moving the items to different family members' homes because we didn't want to part with none of it. We wanted to keep it all.
Yes.
But the recipes and the handwritten recipes that grandmothers accumulate. And I was like, this is not her writing, but it's one of our family's favorite meals.
Really?
Yeah.
And do you know who this this unknown person was? Or are they just a rando?
That's when I learned that my mom was like, oh, yeah, and for some reason, a lot of it would say receipts instead of recipes. And I don't know if that was
Could be
a
spelling.
nickname
I don't know how
for
to
it.
spell
I don't know
either
if
one
it's
of those.
it might have been a nickname for it, but either way.
Yeah.
It was something that somebody had sent in with their tax payment, and it became one of our family staples. And to this day, I still cook it.
And we don't know who to thank, right?
Exactly. Faithful tax-paying citizen. Or maybe somebody who wasn't paying their tax, and they're like, sorry, I don't have the money for my ad
but here's my
valorem
macaroni and cheese recipe. Will that
enchilada
do?
casserole. It was enchilada casserole.
Okay. Which enchilada casserole, honestly, it's competition for a good mac and cheese.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
it's up there.
Our family does not win any awards for nutrition, but comfort food, we got it where it counts. Yes. So,
I hope, because you know how everything always changes in the food world, like what's good for you. Can you imagine the day when they finally realize that comfort food is actually better for you than vegetables? It is going to be, the party of those of us that are a little right, but the those of us that are a little fluffy and like the warm, high carb goodness. That is a day of celebration that will never end.
And I feel like that is coming because they always cycle through.
They do.
The nutritional standards are constantly shifting.
It's a moving target.
Exactly. Like
eggs.
Butter and eggs.
You said exactly, so I just was
unintentional
dad
you.
joke.
Yeah, it was
totally intentional. Sorry, I meant that. Yeah.
No, edit it out and make it sound like I totally intended that.
Yeah, I will.
Because
for sure.
the eggs are the poster child.
They are the poster child.
But butter also.
Butter. Oh my God.
Butter's bad. Have this fake stuff, and then they're like, "Oh, the fake stuff's bad. Go back to butter,
Right.
which now cost a lot."
Yeah.
So it's this thing where you're just like, I still don't know where we are on eggs.
No, right now. Eggs are wonderful for you.
But my cholesterol, like you've already made me afraid of it.
No, but do you know cholesterol is I don't know if you've followed this yet, but cholesterol is a scam. So cholesterol's not bad for you.
Both of them, the LDL and the HDL?
I think there's one that's like better for you, but cholesterol itself is not bad for you. So in essence,
what are Cheerios going out of business?
I don't know.
We don't need them for our cholesterol because I don't think we're eating them for flavor.
Well, I don't really eat them unless they are like the honey coated whatever.
The purple box. Skip the honey nut ones, but go for the ones that are in the purple box.
Yep. Yes, that's
the multigrain, lightly sweetened.
Yeah, those are good.
The last time I was here, I bought a box for somebody who was here to try to convert them because it's breakfast cereal evangelist.
Absolutely.
If you're on the fence, I can't help you. But if you feel strongly against Cheerios, let me persuade you with this box of purple.
So basically, General Mills and Taylor Swift have you on their payroll as an evangelist. But
the Taylor Swift one was accidental.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say, I think, but I'm not certain, that I might get to bring a symposium to the junior college.
First of all, can you help me out? Like, because I didn't go to college. What is a symposium? Is that like where you talk in depth about something?
Yeah, it's like a seminar, sort of.
Yeah, that's what I think of when I hear
Basically.
symposium. But I didn't know, like,
Symposium
in
makes
the back
it
of my
sound
mind, I'll
fancier.
be like, I'll think I know what a word is, but then like in the world of like academia, for instance, it means something different. So I just didn't want to assume it was like a seminar or a conference.
I don't know what the dictionary definition would be that would separate it from seminar, but basically you're coming to a lecture hall and hearing a little talk. I said
Would
symposium
you like
because,
to know what the dictionary?
Please do that for us. Show my ignorance.
No, let's do it. Okay, Google, what is the definition of symposium?
And contrast it with seminar.
Here's the definition of symposium. A conference or meeting to discuss a particular subject.
Conference or meeting.
Nailed it.
You're in, girl. I mean, let's do it.
The Swift-posium.
The Swift. Oh,
so
I love that.
I'm an adjunct instructor at a junior college, and
Nice.
I love junior college kids.
Yeah.
I'm fixing to. This week was supposed to be my first class at the university, and my fear is that I won't love them as much as I love my junior college kids. But maybe I will. Maybe it'll be great.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Say that last sentence again.
Oh, what was the last sentence?
Wait, where are you going? And you're going to
The university is letting me teach a class there too, so I'll be teaching in both.
Oh, shoot, you're going to the big leagues, girl.
The big leagues. Wow. Teaching some law classes there, and that's where I say I'm afraid I won't love them as much because the junior college kids,
they're still innocent and sweet.
Well,
and
you're getting people who are
years.
coming out of high school that maybe they won't have an interest in going to a 4-year university. Maybe they're not even that interested in taking the next step. So you're not necessarily getting that pure, strong academic drive.
Yeah, the
and you can
overachievers.
have some fun conversations in that atmosphere because you're teaching things to people that are not so committed to their ideas already and just not necessarily academic. And to see that light switch go on where they do get interested in a topic and they do find out, I could be an academic if I wanted to. It's just a fun place to be. So I really
So you're using your
loving
power
it.
and your influence over these multiple minds to convince them they need to become Swifties? Really? Do you feel good about that?
So actually, I'm not sure that what I'm selling is Swiftiness, but here's the idea.
Yeah.
This past semester, I had a class, and I mentioned something. This is government, by the way, and I don't know if you were paying attention to current events when it comes to politics, because who would even want to keep up with it? But we had Speaker of the House resigned, and then having to replace, and the oldest member of Congress passed away, and it's always something going on, and Trump and everything else in the background, which is nothing but drama constantly.
Yeah.
So we try to keep up with the current events somewhat in that class, just so that we can connect it to the lesson. And the students are like, one of them casually mentioned like another unprecedented time. Like, why do they even use that phrase? Because has there ever even been a precedented?
Thank you so much for that.
This generation of kids, think like Micah down to high school, they were born around the time of Hurricane Katrina, which in my neck of the woods was life-altering. And then, 9/11 was already happening, and then you have Katrina, and then constant state of war against terror, which is vague but really altered our cultural climate here in the United States with, airport travel and the way that we look at foreigners and everything else. But it's just, and then, I mean, these are the kids whose high school experiences were interrupted with a COVID pandemic. Like, nothing in their life has been normal or ordinary. And the internet took off about the time that they were born.
Yes.
Every house is getting connected to the World Wide Web. And then they are the generation that social media comes in and takes over. All of this stuff is kind of new to us.
That's true.
But for them, nothing has ever been precedented. Everything that's happened in their life has been different, and most of it was chaotic and difficult.
True.
And caused constant complaining on television and constant complaining by the grandparents around the dinner table. And so that's what this generation of kids is exposed to. So when he said that, I was like, holy smokes, you're right.
Hello, lovely friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And it would mean the world if you would tell other people about this podcast and maybe even spam your social media accounts with just how much you're enjoying it. If you are, of course. Also, commenting and rating us on whatever platform you're downloading or streaming from is incredibly helpful to a little startup podcast like this one. On the other hand, if you are dissatisfied with your listening experience, please leave all of that hate on someone else's podcast. Just maybe to confuse them a little bit, right? But most of all, we hope you keep looking up and looking for the sunny side of life.